Starfish from the ground, because yes, you can learn from the ground. You need a very big band, like holds most of your weight at the start. Bring it a bit away so you don't have to do as much of a push, because you're in here, it's almost impossible if you're hooked on. So bring your leg up as high as you can, right? Not too low, not too high. Alright? You're gonna grab, you're gonna put your hand on the ground, push. You're gonna lean. And come back down. If the foot is too close, like say if it's in here, it just won't work. If it's too far away, your bottom foot's just gonna slide out. You're just gonna. So if you're like really bendy and you have a massive straddle, try and bring it in a bit. The thing is to really learn and understand about this starfish is the hip turn. So your knees pointing forward, you're hooked on, your feet are like this. I don't know about guys, but for women, usually smaller feet. We're going to turn our hip, so your knee's going to go from here to here, up towards the ceiling. You're going to catch with that pinky foot. You're going to get some connection here, which is why if you have your leg too low, you're getting less connection. Versus, if you have your foot all up here, we're getting a nice big connection along here, as well as the foot. So we're going to do that 2 more times for posterity, and then you leave it a week, or like you don't do this move anymore than like twice a week, because your foot will not be happy. So bring your butt into the edge of your red puff or your safety belt. You're going to pull this here. You're going to turn your hip really hard. You're going to grab, you're going to push to the bottom foot. You know, yeah. Hips away. Tilted this way. So your hips aren't tilted in or straight on. Your hips are like trying to go that way. Again, women have usually bigger down here, smaller up here. Guys are the opposite. So guys don't really have to tilt as much, and they don't usually are not as flexible. So we want our, it's going to be different for everybody at different heights. So you want it roughly a little bit more than hip height, hip width apart. So hip width apart will be kind of here. Do like a step or two to the side again. Roughly this. Too much, you'll know because your bottom foot will start sliding, even if you have a ton of grip on. You need to have your legs not too far apart, because even if you stand, you bring your legs really far apart. You're sliding, right? Which is great to get down into a straddle, you know, if you're nervous. But if you're standing here, you're pushing a lot of weight into it. You're not going to slide, even with my foot off the foot, because the pressure is even. Okay, and once the pressure is even, then it works. The pressure is not even, or the pressure is sliding out to the side. You're not going to, like the abductors you do tighten, so you see you're like trying to squeeze in the legs. So if you do roller skating, that's going to be the move where you squeeze your legs and release them to actually move forward. You're doing roller skating. So if you don't, it's basically just pulling your legs tighter, so you're trying to pull everything together. Because if you don't, you're going to slide. So for people who are extra bendy, I would say bring your legs a little bit, not this, but like a little bit further than hip width, kind of maybe here. Kind of there, like experiment with it, you'll figure it out. Again, chalky on the bottom foot, make sure you exfoliate your feet before you do this move. It is advised to exfoliate your feet before you do Starfish. Because if you have any dead or like skin that's like loose, it's going to end up on the pole, and then that skin that came off, that got exfoliated by the pole, is going to end up directly like causing you to slide. It's going to cause you to slide because it's going to be in between the pole, and you're like, bit of rolly stuff in between. It's not cute, but it's also dangerous. It's similarly if your legs are too far apart. The pressure is going outwards instead of down into the pole, which is what's kind of helping stay on the pole when it comes to Starfish. So I found out trial and error, right? The top foot is. It's just like for me, like for my problem, I couldn't get it for years because I wasn't locking my hip. So ignore my room. But I wasn't like. I was like this, going da, 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 da. I wasn't bringing my hip and going ha. Like you literally have to go ha. Because then that like locks the leg in place, like that. Recommended stretches to do before doing this move. I would do this one, like roughly at a 90-90. One of my socks. You're getting your knee. You're not leaning forward, so make sure your body isn't leaning forward. So like just have a yoga block or something. You're just gonna lift this knee first, and then try and lift the foot. And you're trying not to lean over like this because that defeats the purpose. Because then you're just leaning. So you're trying to keep your torso as upright as possible. And do this, because I find when you do the Starfish for the first time, it's going to get nice and all crampy. This muscle here is just going to get activated. So that's what I found really worked for me, was that muscle turning on 100%. So do a few of those before you do it. You don't have to do a straddle necessarily, but you do have to stretch out your legs a little bit. So maybe a few pigeon poses. Nothing crazy. It's not, again, you don't need a super amount of strength to do Starfish, you don't need a super amount of flexibility to do Starfish, but you do need to listen to your nervous system. If it hurts, stop, come back to it, give it a week. Then when you get used to it, do it every twice a week, and then kind of go from there. But I have held it for 32 seconds in the past. Got it on camera. Not very good camera, it was blurry as hell, but I did get it on camera. So once you get it, you can get it and keep it quite well. So yeah, that's my tips, tricks on Starfish training from the ground to get your nervous system and you and your foot used to it. Because you do have to build up a certain amount of, toughness on, especially that top foot and the bottom foot, before your body's gonna be like accepting of it on a regular basis. Yeah.